Hello and welcome to Marketing Speak. I'm your host, Stephan Spencer. It's my pleasure to have Rachel Miller with us. Rachel is a lifetime learner, a mom to 6 kiddos, and a serial business builder. After growing her own audiences to over 4.4 million people, as well as bringing in over $10 million in revenue from those audiences, Rachel now helps other businesses grow engaged audiences for their brands without ads. She's helped coach over 28,000 businesses, helping them get their content in front of people organically. Rachel, it's so great to have you on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me today, Stephan.
Well, it's great to have you. And I'd love to start off with maybe your origin story of how you got into this business and, built up quite a reputation as an online marketer.
Oh, thank you. How many of you guys have heard the story about the bear chasing the man and you take action when there's a bear chasing you, right? And then if there's no bear chasing you, you kind of sit on your laurels and you kind of like chill out for a little bit and you weigh your options, right? If I'm going to go on a hike, I could decide, oh, maybe I'll take this road or that road, or should I pack something? But if a bear's chasing me on the trail, I'm booking it, right? I was a school teacher. I loved teaching. Absolutely loved it. Loved being in the classroom. I taught government economics to high schoolers, seniors. While I was teaching high schoolers, I got pregnant with my first kid. I was so excited. And I went on maternity leave. And while I was on maternity leave, I got pregnant with my second child that fast. And so basically, and whenever I'm pregnant, I'm really sick. So I knew I couldn't be pregnant and have a newborn and be a school teacher. That would be really hard for me. And then in addition to that, how do I now, when I have the baby, pay for 2 infants to be in childcare on a 3-year teacher salary? That's just also just not possible. And so what I needed to do was I needed to find work to do from home. And I had this bear chasing me. Like, oh my word, this bear was on my tail. And the bear in my tail was I couldn't financially support my children and the lifestyle that I wanted. I would walk outside. My car had broken down like 2 weeks after I had quit my teaching job, but I felt like I'd been fired, but I wasn't fired, but I felt like it, right? So I would walk by my car and it had a broken transmission and it was a $600 payment to fix the car. And I didn't have $600 at the time. And that's when I was like, you know what? We need to do something else with our lives. I don't want to be in this spot where I'm having to nickel and dime everything. I don't want to be in this place anymore. So there's a bear chasing me. I start a website. And I'm starting the website, and I'm just kind of starting it just to kind of connect with other people. And as I'm starting the website, it grew and it grew. And before I knew it, I had 3 books that I'd written for that website. We were bringing in 10 million page views a month to that website. And I think we had like 1 million and something fans on that Facebook page, not including the 600,000 on Pinterest, not including the 100,000 on Instagram and all the other places. Anyways, my point is I've grown all these audiences. And these audiences were extremely lucrative and productive for me and my business. It happened slowly. It happened slowly looking back, but at the same time, it was fast because I had that bear chasing me and I had to get up and run after the thing that I needed. And for us, that was revenue. So that was about 10 years, 15 years ago. I began starting viral websites, build one, build another one, build third one. And then people started asking me, how are you building these viral websites? 1, how do you grow the audience that sends traffic to the viral website? 2, and then 3, how are you making money off these virals? Because I know people who've gone viral and they couldn't sell a single t-shirt from their virals. So what did you do that meant that you got to harness that traffic and make it into sales? That's how I started a coaching program. And so far in the past 5 years, I did the math and we've coached over 28,000 people that are paid me to be part of any of my programs. So I'm super, super blessed and super, super grateful for getting to make a bigger impact. I got to make an impact on the 4 or 5 million people that were following my audiences, but having that the audiences of my coaching staff, I've literally impacted untold numbers of people. And that's what I think my biggest like joy has been.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's a great story. Now, if you can build such amazing audiences on your own, why would you want to teach others to do it? Couldn't you make quite a lot more money doing that audience building and funnel building and all that sort of stuff for your own self and not teach others to make the millions?
Well, yes, I can see why people would say that. But I looked at my audience, and like one of my audiences is crazy cat ladies, and I have like 135,000 crazy cat ladies that follow me. I looked at those crazy cat ladies. They're following 6 other crazy cat lady websites. So it's not limiting my reach. It's not limiting my sales. All I get to do is magnify my impact. So now, instead of being one of the crazy cat lady sites that they follow, I get to be one of those sites, but I also get to impact the 3, 5, 6 other people that they're also following. And so now our impact is even bigger in that person's life. So I see it as multiplying, not limiting whenever I train my competition, which I've trained my competition all the time.
Yeah, that's a good way to be in the world, I think. What is it about crazy cat ladies that I don't know, that what brings you to that community?
As a marketer, I totally made the logical step. My neighbor's cat was peeing on my lawn furniture and in my back garden around my pool, which was very pleasant. You know, you're swimming and there's the cat. So, anyways, I did what all marketers that are sane do when there's a cat that annoys them. Instead of talking directly to my neighbor, I made a funny page about the cat, and then the cat went viral. And then I'm like, oh, well, I guess a lot of people like me making fun of this cat. Then I started profiting off that cat page. Eventually, Justice went away, or Titus or Justice. I can't remember the name of the cat. Eventually, he found a different yard to harass.
He went away to heaven, or he moved away, or what?
The neighbor couldn't find the cat anymore. So I'm assuming
no.
that the cat, I don't know what happened to the cat, probably went to somebody else's house and who knows what happened, but he was no longer bothering me. But in the process of while we had that cat blessing our home, I'm not a cat person, but I just made fun of a cat and I decided to do it on Facebook Lives and on Facebook everything. And it went crazy. But the people who are following me loved this cat and loved the experience and I didn't do it in a mean way. Does that make sense? I did it in like, let's celebrate this cat. And I called it the Crazy Cat Lady page, making fun of a little bit, maybe my neighbor and the cat relationship. But at the same time, I attracted a lot of people who really loved their cats and really wanted to express their relationship with a cat. And then I started marketing to them just because that's what you do when you're a marketer.
That's funny.
Kind of crazy.
Wow. And so what are you doing these days in terms of the cat?
Oh, that audience, I got mad at them. I got mad at my cat audience. So there was a time when the cat audience was a joke. I didn't start it as a real thing. I was just giving that as an example. It was when I have like probably 40 different audiences that I've built over the years. Of the 40 different audiences, most of them I started kind of on a whim. They may not be ones that like fill my bucket, my heart. They're just ones that I happen to have. And so the cat one was one that I happened to have. The audience kind of irritated me. There was a long story where I posted about like the cat fighting with one of the kids about a toy. And they're like, the audience just really preferred the cat to my child. And I just had a hard time with it. So I stepped out of that audience a little bit. So I tried to sell it once or twice. But then my brother said he wanted it. So I said, no, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to give it to my brother. And then my brother didn't want it. So anyways, the cat audience is just there right now. What am I doing? I build software companies. I have 6 different companies that I run. And so I run some of them for myself, as in I've built audiences where I just drive traffic to my own offers and I benefit from that. So like we stacked out a car wash. We have apartment complexes. I make sure they're filled with residents. I've got multiple different businesses that I use my own personal traffic for, in addition to viral websites, coaching programs. But then in addition to that, I train people how to build their own audiences. And I have a software company that provides digital assets that people can use to grow their audiences and sell to their audiences without any effort.
Well, let's go through some of that, because I'd love for our audience here, our listener, to learn some of the techniques that you're teaching to your students around building audiences.
So one of the tactics that we teach people to do is to know what their audience wants to say about themselves as more important than the pain point that person has. So a lot of times when we're coaches or when we're marketers, we think, what is this person's pain? And I'm going to put my finger on it and push on it and amplify it and make this pain even bigger to the person. And then they'll buy my solution without realizing that when we do that, what we're usually doing is pushing our audience away. We're literally saying to them, like, I'm going to boss you, or I'm going to put you down. You're not good enough. And that's never the feeling I want my people to have. I want my people to feel loved. I want my people to trust me. I want my people to connect with me before they ever hear that I can solve a pain point that they have. Before they ever think that I'm an expert in anything, I want them to feel like the heroes of their lives. So I love to call it the bumper sticker effect, which is how can you identify what your person most calls themselves? What would they put on a bumper sticker? What would they wear in a t-shirt? What would they use as a hashtag to describe themselves? What Facebook groups would they say, I am and I'm part of this community? When you can identify that, then ask that person, okay, you're a spud lover. Okay, that's kind of an unusual thing. It's a person who is obsessed with potatoes. Well, what would you buy in addition to being a spud lover? Oh, there's a whole diet program where there's a coaching program that we can get on where you eat nothing but potatoes and you lose all of this weight. That's amazing. Let's get on our coaching program and I'll be your weight loss coach in I Love Spuds, which we would have never gotten to from potato shirt. Like, it just, sometimes you can find the most interesting connections. And it starts not by saying, I'm going to solve your pain, but starts by who is my person and what is the thing that they most want the world to know about who they are.
And do you find that Facebook is one of the best places still to build a community, or has that kind of jumped the shark?
Right now, the majority of people are still on Facebook. They're still opening Facebook. They're still engaging on Facebook content. Just last 10 days ago, we got one of our clients to 1.7 million people with zero ad spend on post. So on their business page with no ads. So it's still going viral. It's still the place. It's better to me than TikTok because TikTok doesn't have as, how do I say it, as person doesn't invest in you with the same amount of attention and engagement as they would on TikTok as they do on Facebook. What I mean by that is they might follow you on TikTok, but you have to nurture them into it's. I find that they tend to buy like books, they tend to buy low ticket products, but converting them to a high ticket offer, I do that much better on a Facebook where I can connect with them in a Facebook Messenger, a Facebook group, Instagram, which is also Facebook. The content on Facebook and Instagram is literally the same feed on the back end. So I can connect someone more deeply using the Facebook network than I can using any other platform right now. So yes, I still am on TikTok. I still have people there. I do convert on TikTok, but and yes, the ads are cheaper, but my leads are lower quality and I prefer them on Facebook because of all the tools that I have there.
Gotcha. And what are some of the techniques that used to work but no longer on Facebook?
Well, one thing that people have done was driving interest ads with cold audiences using interests. I find that those aren't they aren't converting as well. But for my systems, what I've always taught people to do is to build their own audience. So you go onto Facebook, you put content up that your people engage with and build your own audience using Facebook platform. And when you do that, you're able to build a lookalike on that. You're able to retarget. So it still works. I haven't seen much of a decline in the way Facebook has worked. Some live launches come and go. But yeah, the majority of the tactics I have taught, they're still the same tactics, even 3-4 years later.
Are you spending money on Facebook ads?
Yeah, we spend about $3 to $10K a week.
A week, okay. And is that for just your own businesses, or are you managing ad spend for clients as well?
I only manage my own ad spend. However, it's across 6 different businesses.
Got it. Okay.
And we do the majority of our traffic is actually through organic. So while that is ad spend, it's for conversions so like we collect the audience using organic means and a couple of dollars in boost. But then the majority of my ad spend is spent on retargeting that audience and getting them into a conversion. So right now our leads are about $2 a lead.
Okay. And if you're spending $2 a lead, you must be making more off of them than that. Are
Yes.
they like thousands of dollars worth of value per lead, or 100, or what kind of return on ad spend or organic spend are you
My
receiving?
ROAS varies between 2 and 8x. It depends on the business, and frankly, it depends on the week. So in like the middle of December, well, it's going to be lower then. Right now, it's going to be a lot higher. So it really varies depending on. There's a lot of factors. I can't just give one number, unfortunately.
Got it. But what would be some of the factors that come into play?
So when you have to think of how Facebook is like a menu, and so there's different ups and downs in the Facebook marketplace. So when is the menu more full? That would be a time when more companies are coming in to sell. So before any holiday weekends, before Q4, at the end of any quarter, there's usually an increase in the amount of ads. So at the beginning of any quarter, where ads go down. So right now we're getting towards the end of a quarter, so it's a little higher. But give it 3 weeks, it'll be lower again, and so we'll be able to have a better return on that ad at that time. It depends on what Facebook has as a news feed being delivered in ads, and then it also depends on our cycle. So let's say like one of my businesses has like they people have want like debt relief. Well, right now with the whole crypto issues and with the whole SVG bank issues, like that's a hot topic. So that ads, they're being depressed right now. So you're gonna have to pay more for those kind of ads than you would for some of my other topics. So it also depends on themes going on in the world too.
Right. And have you found that the return on ad spend has been declining over time?
Right now, our return on ad spend, because we're now in Q1, is higher. So usually Q4 it goes down, and Q1 it goes back up because there's less people competing for ads at this time.
Because some of the folks I talk to who spend a lot of money on Facebook ads, they say that it's getting more and more expensive as each year goes on to participate in Facebook advertising, and we're looking at other channels. Is that what you're finding, or?
I find that's true if you're having to market for your cold audience. I
Hmm.
don't find that's true if you build your own warm audience using organic means.
Yeah. Could we get an example of a client of yours who, let's say in the business to business world, maybe a services company, is building up their own audience and then advertising to that audience and doing really well with it?
Example, service-based business. Well, okay, I'll bring up my own service, but it's software as a service business. So what I'm doing right now is I'm building an AI machine that will build someone's digital product, their sales page, their emails, their ads. And what I'm doing is I'm creating social media content that's organic, and I'm going out there posting the content. I might boost it for $1 or $5 a day per post, and I'm collecting an audience. And right now we have about 250,000 people in that audience. And I've already tested this offer, and I've done this without a single ad being spent because I've collected the audience other than boost. So I've done boost where I've just had nurture gives. There's no call to action. There's no sales page. There's nothing being given to my customers yet. I've got a little tiny subset of them, about 180 people, and I tested with that audience of 180 people, and I boosted to just that audience. Get on a call with me and I'll show you what I built. And 37 of them got on the call. And of that 37, we sold 149 seats into the software. It was, I discounted the software heavily, but it was, so I gave the software access was $243 for a year for those people. And so of the 37 people, I sold 149 seats to the product. So I had, of the people that showed up on the call, they told their friends, 4 times as many applied. So it organic means, and I didn't spend a single penny on ads for that other than boosting to build that initial audience. So we're not getting ready for a launch, but that product is coming. So you'll get to watch it if you want to. But that's an example of organic means working better. So I don't have to worry about ROAS because I've got an organic audience. Most people that I coach, they come to me for organic marketing, not for paid traffic. But paid traffic is built on organic. So when you have an organic audience, Facebook doesn't need to wonder, who are we going to drive traffic to? Facebook doesn't have to say who is best for this content. They don't have to say, oh, we need to have 1,000 people who purchase. No, they can look at our engagement, and then we can have sifting metrics that we like layer on top, and they can say, oh, this is exactly who we're going to drive this traffic to. And it's really fun to see it convert.
So what would be some of the metrics that you're honing in on with your audience let's say that it's a percentage of the videos viewed and that sort of thing?
So I usually want them to be someone who's watched my percentage of my videos, but I want them to watch it multiple times. So they have to watch more than 3 videos, more than 75%, and they have to have messaged or otherwise engaged my page. So they have to message my page, message me in a group, message me over email. So I get them where they're not only somebody who's visited me, but they've also listened to my content. Now, when I come to them and say, hey, I've got an offer, I have a very hot audience to give that offer to the point where they'll even go out and give that link, the sales page link, and get other people to buy without me having to ask them to do that.
And how do you track, or how do you let Facebook track that they've sent you an email?
We do have a list that we grow. And so whenever they join my Facebook group, we have my Facebook group connected to my page. So whenever they message my page, they get an automated message that says, hey, you want to join my Facebook group too? Whenever they join my page, they comment on my page, my page is connected to my group. So it also says, hey, you're not in the Facebook group. Do you want to join the Facebook group? Just because they engaged on my page. So I always want to keep my page engagement really high. Once they've engaged on my page, they get on my list generally, and generally they've got an invite to my Facebook group. From there, in my Facebook group, I've got, so now I've got them engaging on my page and my email list and my group. If they're active on all 3, so they haven't unfollowed my page, they haven't left my email list, they haven't hid my Facebook group, so they're one of my engaged people in my Facebook group, well, then I know they're hot. And I can tell Facebook, here's the 5,000 people that are super hot. Go find more people just like this. So it's really easy for me to grow.
Got it. How big's your email list?
We have about 100,000, but we cull pretty heavily. And I think about 80,000 of them are marketable. So we have about 20,000 that are on my list, but they're not marketable, as in like I've banned them and I don't want to lose their email because then I can't ban them. Like, those kind of things.
Gotcha.
So generally my marketable list is about 80K.
Okay.
And I like to keep it. We don't usually like to go over 100.
Okay.
We want to keep our hot ones. We do have another list where we have our cold people, and we use that for email marketing, as in, not email. I take that list and I'll create ads to remarket to them, but they're my cold list. But I don't ever send emails to my cold list. I just have them in like a spreadsheet somewhere.
Right. So you have a list of email addresses that you upload to Facebook so that it will build lookalike audiences on those.
With my cold list, I don't necessarily want to make an email list for a lookalike for that. What I use that for is to remarket.
Custom
yeah,
audience.
Remarket, because I want them to come back in and be hot. And so just because they were on my email list 9 months ago doesn't mean that they don't want me now. And so I'll send them ads every now and then. I send them a birthday ad, saying happy birthday to them. I do a couple of different things to re-engage them. And then if they want to become re-engaged, then they move on to my warm list. But I don't make a lookalike audience based on them unless they spend a lot of money with me.
I've not heard of a birthday ad campaign.
Oh, yeah, it's fun. So I send an ad to everybody based on whenever their birthday is. And it's one of our ads that tends to re-engage our audience really, really quickly. It's me singing happy birthday, literally. It's just me being a dork, singing happy birthday.
Well, that's awesome. And what are some of the fun stories of engagement that you want to share about that particular ad? I'm sure you've gotten a lot of positive comments from recipients of that.
I mean, people just love to be celebrated. And so if you celebrate your audience and no ask, just be like, dude, I love you. How many people don't hear someone say, I love you? How many people wish that a company actually cared about them? when you're marketing and you're just like, oh, ROAS, I want conversions, I want call to action. Well, you're totally missing the heart of your customer, and your customer is going to kind of shrivel up on the inside. But if you tell your customer, I truly love you, I truly care about you, I'm truly here for you, and they know it, they can tell if you're genuine or not, and they truly know it, then they tend to convert later for me. So that's why one of the reasons why I have the birthday ad is just to celebrate them and tell them that I think they're pretty awesome.
That's great. Now, what would be some of the viral techniques that you're using and teaching your students to use that helps build that audience organically?
Yeah, one of the easiest things is to just reflect back to your audience exactly who they say that they are. So when people are engaging on content on social media, generally they're commenting on posts that make them look good. They're engaging on something that makes them feel good. They share something that makes their life better, that they feel will make them increase their status in the world, increase who they are, demonstrate who they are to others. And remember, every time that somebody comments, every time somebody likes, every time somebody shares, all of that is visible usually to at least one other person, if not masses of people. And so if your content is, say, let's say it's debt relief. Let's say you're a business that's like how to get people out of debt. If you make a post, 10 ways to get out of debt fast. If someone tags their friend in that post, that's not going to make them look good, that friend look good. It's not going to make them feel good. It might make their life better, but do you think they're actually going to take an action on it? Or will they be like, oh, bug off, I can't believe she just publicly tagged me on this post about debt relief, right? If they, as a person, it's not that they were being tagged, but if they personally commented, what would their mother-in-law think about them? So what would their community say if they saw that? So that post is not ever going to go viral. It might be a good, after they're in your list, convert them to a buy. But when they first see you, you don't want the first time that they see you be get out of debt, because they're going to block and ban you. Now, here's another thing. If they just scroll past your ad, that hurts your ad ranking, right? You don't want an ad that somebody sees and just scrolls past really fast, because it gives them a nasty taste in their mouth. So what do you do if you're in a niche like debt relief and you're trying to get people to engage with your brand, get people to feel loved, get people to look good, collect the audience of people who are now going to trust you? One of my students did this really, really well, Amanda Teixeira, and she posted, it's a good day at Target when you go, it's a good day at Costco when you go to Costco and you leave with a kayak and a year's supply of toilet paper. Okay, the person who laughs at that is somebody who's made impulse buys before. The person who's made impulse buys probably has debt issues. So she's now collecting her audience with something that made them look good, feel good, have a good life. People are tagging, oh my word, it wasn't a kayak. I bought a 5-foot tall bear and we still have it. My daughter loves that thing. The person who's replying is her perfect customer, and it doesn't make them look bad. Now she's able to collect that audience. She's able to celebrate them even in their struggle. And she's able to say, hey, next time you go to Costco and you're about to leave with a whole van full of crap, let's go through some strategies that can help you. And now she doesn't feel like the bad enemy talking to them about debt relief. She's coming alongside them as their friend. And they now trust her, love her, and are more willing to purchase her products and programs.
Makes a lot of sense.
And that went viral. That post about Costco, it totally went viral. And it totally built her company too. It was awesome.
And was that a video post, or was it just a still image, or?
It was a meme, one of those text images. It's just a picture with text written on it instead of an actual picture. But it was uploaded like a photo. And actually, photo posts are still doing crazy. So right now, Reels are doing well, but also the photo memes are just going bonkers right now.
So what are you seeing as the most effective or the most innovative Reels these days?
There's a lot of different strategies. You can do like stitches. You can do where you have a trend, some fun dances. One of the things I love is green screens, because they're a great way for your audience to see your product. I like to do unboxings. And a lot of times we think of unboxings as only for physical products, but I love seeing a coaching program like unbox, like what is included in their program. There's a lot of great ones out there. I mean, there's probably too many to say, to be honest. There's lots of different strategies you can use for reels. What I always suggest to people is don't listen to necessarily me of what's saying what type of reel to do, because every audience is different. What a cat person is looking for in a reel is very different from the mom who's trying to get out of debt, right? Which is also very different from the small business owner who's trying to help the financial institution that's helping the mom get out of debt. So the type of content that's going to work for each of them is very, very different. So it's not a one blanket fits all. The best thing that you should do as a marketer is go look at what your audience is engaging with. What content do they like? What content do they share? What content do they talk about? And don't just look at like what you think that they would do professionally. Go actually open up their personal profiles, because then you'll see what their motivations are of their hearts. So let's say you're a company that sells software to universities across America, and the person buying this is the dean's assistant in the education office or whatever. So you're going to go and look at what does that dean's office person, what do they put on their profile? Okay, they put pictures of vacations. They put pictures of their kids. They put pictures of the school mascot doing something funny. Okay, well, all of those things you're going to want to incorporate into your content in some little way. So that way, they feel like they know you, love you, and trust you, because you're reflecting back who they are through your content.
So, what would be an example of utilizing a school mascot in a meme or some sort of reel in a way that gets their attention and interest, and it's not just, oh yeah, whatever?
Well, if you're targeting a specific college and their staff, what colors are that college? That's the color you're going to post your content in. It doesn't have to be, we don't have to overthink it, but they're automatically going to trust people from Clemson. My niece went to Clemson, is going to Clemson. My, not niece, like cousin's daughter. Anyways, a family member's going to Clemson, and it's bright orange, and it's the one university I remember is orange. Okay, so if I start posting in orange, she's automatically going to trust me more. I don't have to say Clemson. I just use orange, and she's like, oh yeah, we're sisters. We're good.
So would you have, let's say, dark posts where it's the same post that you're targeting Clemson alumni and Clemson students with a color scheme that's orange, and for, let's say, University of Michigan alumni and students, you're using blue and yellow, and like, is that some of the stuff you're doing?
I have done, or I've coached people to doing that if they work with the same niche in multiple areas. So typically, like I personally don't make an ad for every single different angle, because it's just too many ads and we dilute the power of our marketing when you spread it too thin. The only exception to that is, let's say you're training golf course, you have a software or a social media, or you're an agency that helps golf courses all over America. Well, then yes, you're going to make some content. You're going to have the same content, but you're going to do different skins for it. So the content, you make the same post, but the picture in the background is going to be different for the golf course in Arizona than it is in the golf course in Florida than it is in the golf course in Michigan. Because the one in Michigan might have snow in it occasionally. The one in Arizona is going to have a cactus in the background, and palm trees are going to be in the Florida one, but it's still the same content because a golf course is a golf course and they're all selling wedding packages.
Okay, got it. And those
So there
are
are
not.
times you want to tweak it, but generally I try to stick to tried and true content.
Okay, got it. And let's say that you are marketing to or selling to golf courses. How do you find the communities of golf course owners on Facebook to learn what their preferences are and what they engage with? Are you going onto
Oh,
Facebook groups and then searching within Facebook for groups about owning a golf course, or what?
I've done that with usually with that type of business. I would use Facebook groups, but I would also use LinkedIn, and I would probably combine both of those. And I probably even use Reddit, because you can find subgroups on Reddit of golf course owners, and then you can find the subgroups in LinkedIn of golf course owners. I would give the lead magnet to all of those places until I have 1,000 people collected on a leads. Then I would feed it into Facebook and say, hey, I would love to talk to you if you're a golf course owner. And I'd say that same thing on LinkedIn, same thing on Reddit, and then ask them, where are you? What groups are you in? Because you're not necessarily going to find that group if it's a private group. And so you need to get kind of an introduction to it. So usually start with knowing someone. You don't need to know, like if you're starting with, I don't know anyone at all, then I try to create those relationships in LinkedIn, Reddit, Discord too, if you can get into it, but and also hashtags. But then once you get a golf course owner that you can talk to, literally get them on the phone and be like, okay, where do you hang out? Once you have 5 or 6 people that you've met that are that perfect avatar, you can ask them where they hang out, then go join those groups. And then I usually get off LinkedIn and get off the Reddit and the Discord.
So let's say that you've created a list of 1,000 folks. You have their email addresses. They've opted in for your lead magnet. So these are all likely to be golf course owners. You're going to set that up as a custom audience in Facebook and then start putting ads in front of them, or what's the next step once you have that 1,000 email list?
So the person who is a golf course, she wanted to get people onto calls so that she can become their social media manager, and then sell them software to help them manage their marketing for their golf courses, and basically run their websites and everything. Okay, so what she did is she came up with a lead magnet for those people, and she put it into those areas. And the lead magnet was just a massive give. And I think it was, I don't remember what it was. But once she got them onto those calls, her goal was not to get them into an ad. Her goal was just to get them into a conversation with her so she could say, can I show you what I've been up to? And then she would get them onto phone calls. And then once she had them on phone calls, she would convert them to become her customers for her marketing agency.
Okay, got it. Where do you see?
I don't think she did a whole lot of ads to grow her agency. I don't think she did very many at all.
Got it. Okay.
She used conversation ladders. So the tactic I teach where you ask people a question and then the people who comment, you engage with them and say, hey, can I take this further with you?
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay. Now, where do joint ventures or partnerships or affiliate relationships, where do those fit in?
Oh, it's funny you say that because I have one like right here on the camera. I have one that like is a reminder to me that I need to promote a friend. But yes, affiliate relationships, I think of them as gravy. So wherever there's a gap in my marketing and there's a complementary product, well, I should put it out there and share it to my audience. It increases the value for my people, but it also increases the relationship with that other company. And Justin and Sarah's program is one that's next on my list to promote. But yes, affiliate partnerships, I found it depends on the affiliate if the leads are good. I've had some affiliates send crap traffic because their list is not as cleaned up as mine is. One thing that I do with affiliates is I tend to block countries. Whenever I get the list, I scrape it for what time zones are people in. And then I try to stick to just to my time zones whenever I promote. That way I can make sure the list is cleaner. That's one of the things I've done to kind of clean my lists whenever affiliate gives me traffic. Yeah, I tend to use affiliate traffic. One thing I love to do with affiliates, especially if they are a good converting audience. So let's say I've done this. I've promoted 2 different people's programs in the past. Actually, three of them's programs in the past. Each of their programs are $2,000 a piece. So I know that person's a qualified buyer. I know that if they've bought their programs, they're also more likely to buy mine. What I've done is I've collected those people into audiences. So I know if they've purchased Russell Brunson's, if they've purchased Jeff Walker's, if they've purchased Ryan Levesque's program, all 3 of them I've been affiliates for, they're also more likely to buy my program. And once I have 700 people that have bought ClickFunnels using my link, well, guess what I can do? I can combine that with the 400 people who've purchased Jeff and Ryan's program. And now I have an audience of 1,000 people I can stick into Facebook and say, find me more people who are just like this. And what I love about doing that is it doesn't just give me ClickFunnels people, because sometimes ClickFunnels isn't the perfect audience for me because frankly, they're kind of like, rah, we're men, which is awesome. But like my audience tends to be like, we're moms. So it's a little bit of a slightly different audience. But by mixing the 3 together and then saying, I just want women, I tend to get a really great audience that I can put nurture content in front of and grow. So I've used affiliates, one, to make money, two, to build my own audience because they also promote me often. But thirdly, to create a lookalike audience that's really, really solid that I can grow my business off of. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah. So what does a nurture campaign look like to an audience like that, where you've asked Facebook to find you lookalikes? Are you sending are you putting memes in front of them every week, or like what's the frequency? What type of content and over what time period?
So we have the same nurture sequence for everyone, no matter how they come to me and who they are. And it starts with what we call the sorting hat, which gives you an opportunity to buy our lower ticket products. They're all $27 a piece. And you'll be given an ad for one, an ad for the next, an ad for the next. And 1 week of selling it, 1 week off of just content to give, 1 week of selling, 1 week off. And after about 6 weeks of that, if you haven't purchased from us, then you're dumped into our year-long sequence where you'll get 2 emails from us a week for the rest of the year. And if you haven't bought anything within 6 months, we put you back into the sequence again to be sold to. And after a year, generally people buy from us not at first. They tend to buy from us about 4 to 5 months into our sequence. I mean, yes, we get a bunch at the beginning, but we also get a bunch the second time they see the ads. After a year, after 6 months, if you haven't engaged, we start to, like, if you've opened, then we might keep you for the rest of the year. But if you haven't opened in like 6 months, usually you're long gone. But if you've opened but not purchased, and it's been a year, you're gone from our list.
I take it you're a Harry Potter fan?
No, my team called it the sorting hat. So yeah, I've got an amazing team. They help support me.
Yeah. And why is it called the sorting hat?
Because when they come in, it depends on what lead they came in on or what they were interested in as to where they go into the hat. So if they clicked on and they watched one video, then they're kind of tagged in our backend system that they've engaged on this video, or they came in on this lead magnet. So that tells us that they're interested in these different topics. So we don't have to survey our audience before we know something about them. And we know that if somebody engaged on organic selling and they didn't want to buy anything about organic selling, we might want to be able to sell them our ads program. Or if they've engaged in organic selling, they might be interested in our groups program, how to sell with a Facebook group. And so we just test them and say, okay, they came in on organic selling. They didn't buy organic selling. Which of these two would they like? Okay, well, they saw the group's email come in and they didn't open that email, but they did open the ads email. Okay, well, now here's ads, here's evergreen sales, here's better sales funnels, so we give them a different experience depending on what they click. It took a little bit of work to set it up, but now that it's working, it's pretty cool.
And do you teach your students how to build that too, or is that something that's more kind of part of your secret sauce?
Everything I teach is public knowledge in the sense I give it all away. That said, I tell people not to do that until they're at the multiple 6-figure range because it's just not worth the effort. Until then, just create a 52-week nurture sequence. And after you have 52 weeks, then add your sales sequence, then add this next level, then add an upsell. So we have like a system so that way you're not overloaded. Start with the thing that's going to make you the most money right off the bat.
What does a high ticket client look like for you? Like, what's your ideal client avatar for high ticket, and what kind of price point and what do they get?
I don't sell high ticket.
You don't? Nothing?
I stopped. I know, nothing. I have nothing for them. So I upsell them into other people's programs at this time. So I've been building a software product. And so I let my high ticket people go and they took more time. And I love the fact that I can just automate other parts of my business. So I've automated almost all of it to build a software company. And I am affiliates now for other people's high tickets. And it's been fun because I don't have to do the fulfillment.
What's been the most effective or most popular of the campaigns that you've put out or the programs that you've promoted of your affiliates?
Right now, I'm part of Master Hackers, which is a mastermind. That's one that I'm having fun promoting. I've done one for a local high ticket program. That one has also done well. I think we got like 7 or 8 people into it. Yeah, it really depends on the person as to what does well. If you know your customers, then you can say, hey, you have $30,000 and you want to invest in a high ticket product. Okay, well, here's the 3 that I've been part of, and here's what I love about them. Which do you think would be a better fit for you? That's that's a much easier sell than here's the product I want to sell to you and here's why you should have it. So I tend to tailor it to the people when it's a high ticket item.
So you're playing a lot with AI these days. What are some of the things that you think our listener would benefit most from using, let's say, a Chat GPT or some other particular platform, Jasper or whatever? What do you find to be the low hanging fruit for our listener?
Busy.ai is the AI platform that I've built, and it will build your sales page and your emails and your ads in 15 minutes or less. And what I think it's better than Jasper or ChatGPT is because you can type into ChatGPT, give me headlines. And then you're like, okay, give me more headlines. Then I want the subheadline. Then I want this. Or you can even say, write me a sales page. But then you don't know how to put that next to the image and you don't know how to format it. It's not written like a sales page, right? It's just the copy. What if you got the copy already outlined? Here's the headline that you're going to put in email. Here's the headline you're going to put in your preview. Here's the outline of your email, the entire thing. If it's long form, here it is in short form if you want it short form. Here's that same email in an ad. So now your audience has consistency. They saw your email, now they saw your ad. Okay, and they all go to the same sales page. Oh, it also has an upsell page that connects right into it. Here's then 15 social media post ideas that also have that same theme. So you're not having to kind of like piecemeal in ChatGPT to kind of make it say all the things you want it to. It's given to you in one click. That's what I've been building, and it's pretty dang cool. I like it. My team, we built it actually for ourselves. So we started building it 18 months ago. Before ChatGPT was a thing, we started building it, and we built it originally for ourselves because we were creating lots of different products across all my businesses, and I needed something that would allow me to scale it. And I was making these templates, and then we created ways to make the templates work with AI, and now we're able to build stuff much faster.
Nice. And how do you spell busy.ai?
BIZZY.ai.
Okay, got it. Awesome. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you. It's been fun.
And when are you officially like mega launching that one?
I don't think we'll be mega launching it for a long time. We've been told by advisors with software that you want to slowly let people in because you find bugs as you scale. And so we let our first 150 people in. Most likely we'll be adding 25 to 100 people every week until they give us the green light, and then we'll do a launch. And I'll probably have about 2 weeks notice. And my guess is that'll be in the early summer, but maybe the bugs will be fixed sooner. We'll find out.
Awesome.
But I don't think we won't be doing a big launch probably ever, because software, it's going to be an evergreen. So there's not going to be the scarcity as in don't buy it, other than the price is going to go up potentially, but it's not going to have a scarcity component. So it'll be harder to have a proper launch, other than here it is for the world to sign up. But it won't be like a PLF style launch or anything like that.
And what do you charge for it?
$27 a month for the lowest level program.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right.
Yeah, kind of fun.
And if our listener or viewer wants to, in addition, check out your AI software, what if they want to follow you, learn from you, take some of your lower ticket programs, where should we send them?
Yeah, my Facebook group is called Grow Your Audience. I would love to have them hang out with me there, or they can message me on Facebook. I love answering people's questions. I love talking to people. Yeah, let's talk.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you, Rachel. And thank you, listener. I hope this has been inspiring and motivating for you, and you're going to go out there and build an incredible audience of passionate people that you help, and they help in turn the world. We'll catch you on the next episode. I'm your host, Stephan Spencer, signing off.